what I noticed that my wife does very, very well is she really resets her daily intentions, and she gets really clear on what that is. Like, for example, she has done really well over the past 2 weeks in, at the time of this dropping, it's going to be probably about a month now. But she does very well at getting up in the morning and doing her daily gratitude journal through her faith studies that she does, and that helps realign her day, get her day started off in the way that it actually needs to. And I've seen a tremendous, change in the way that she actually approaches the day. Now, does the day get in the way sometime and kind of bring us down a peg, and maybe our thoughts start to shift again? Yeah, I mean, that happens, I think, to everybody. I'm very much kind of the opposite. Like, I'll wake up in the morning feeling depressed and down, but my day goes on, and I handle this and I handle that, and something good happens, and I reshift my perspectives as I go through the day and find those little nuggets of, yeah, this is why I do it, right? This is why I'm good at what I do, right? Like, I have a good content session with a client, or, one of my clients gets a win, and, their ads start working for them, and they book some calls, or they get a sale, or, all of that. And that helps me at the end of the day really understand that, like, yo, I'm on the right path. This is changing my perspective on my outlook of my future, and it just keeps me going, right? So I think, being very clear in our intentions every day will help us mold our own realities in the long run. And then using other tools you can use, like positive affirmation and visualization techniques. This is something that I don't think I do too well. I think my wife does a better job at this in her prayers and things of that nature to help mold her perspective and her realities. I'm working on them for myself, right? But I think that that those kind of techniques, they are very much like, you have to really get acquainted with those techniques. I'm very good at visualizing like what I want, right? Like, I'm very good at that. The affirmations aspect of, am I worthy of it? Am I this? Am I that? I probably struggle with that more than I'd like to admit, but that's my challenge. That's my goal. That's the realignment that I need for myself to reshape my perspective to have the positive path forward that I actually want to. So I say all of this because I wholeheartedly believe that the way that we think on a day-to-day basis is exactly how our paths unfold. You can choose to look at things from a negative light. You can choose to look at things from a positive light. You can choose to look at things from a neutral frame and not really sure which, way that you should look at life, right? But I do firmly believe that the things that we believe and the things that we tell ourselves are the things and the actions that actually manifest in our day-to-day. And as hokey as you may think that sounds, I wholeheartely and firmly believe that is true. Whereas maybe if you talk to me 10 years ago or so, I would just say, no, it's what you make happen because you're hardworking, or, this, that, or the other. And I do believe that as I've gone through my faith journey and my spiritual kind of awakening in the last 4 or 5 years, that there's forces outside that I can rely on to help me, get through those waters. I can lean on the back of, knowing that I'm not in full control over everything in terms of what my overall path might be, but I am in full control of how I approach that path. And I think that's the biggest realization that I had to realize, is that I can choose whether or not I want to go about it in a positive light or in a negative light.